Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. KG is back, and we're back to talk about the game from the night before and also some very interesting updates with Daniel Farke opening himself up to the possibility of signing a new free agent, which is good news, everyone. Listen, and I'll give my thoughts about that, the pros and cons for it in terms of bringing in a new player. And we're going to touch on the game last night, but yeah, not in too much detail for a certain player. I'm going to save that for another day. I'm not ready to go there yet. But listen, people, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, drop your comments and thoughts below. Thank you to Jag and Teddy, who have become members of the channel. Big up to you and all members of the channel for supporting. And listen, thank you to Malcolm Patrick, John Abbott, and William Morrison for the super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated, guys. Big up for all the support. And yeah, listen, we got some stuff to talk about today. Luke saying here, I haven't slept. It's not got any better. And Nathan saying, try not to think about what I saw last night. Gutted. Yeah. In terms of that, we've got to touch on the goal that we conceded at the end yesterday. But in terms of Illan Meslier and the whole conversation around him, I'm going to do that on a stream on Monday, people. So tune in Monday and we'll speak about that then. I'm not ready to go into it today. I'm really not. I'm still highly annoyed about last night, and even more so with some of the excuses that I've seen come through. Even Daniel Farke couldn't make an excuse for it yesterday, but some people still try and make excuses for this guy. So I'm not ready to talk about that in full yet, but we will speak about it in terms of the game and what it meant for the team. We will speak about that on this stream. Lee with a super chat. Thank you, Lee. That one hurt. For the first time this season, I celebrated a goal with passion. Season started last night for me. I got the buzz back, and then yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I've just been speaking about it now, which is why my levels are probably calmer a bit. But I've just been speaking about it now. Literally, I was standing up, ready to turn the volume down, ready to come on and celebrate a victory and say what an amazing away win. And literally one moment and 10 seconds left of the game, it's all gone. It's all gone. And that's why in the title, I've said that wasn't a point gain last night. It was 2 dropped. Those are the points that you get like Ipswich did last season that catapult you into the top 2. Instead, we just keep on dropping them. But yeah, let's have a look. Mikey is saying great video last night, and for you and for watching you, it was like me looking in the mirror. Yeah, I know. Listen, all the if you like script of the opening that I usually do in terms of the intro all went out the window. My head was on Mars. My head was hot, and still thinking about it today. Listen, we've been a running joke today, over last night and today. We're a joke. We're everywhere at the moment at this moment in time. Meslier's mistake has been played in nearly every outlet that you can imagine in America, across the world. Yeah, it's become a little bit of a joke. We've got a joke of a goalkeeper. We knew that anyway, but now the world's seeing it, and you just hope that at long term it doesn't affect his value in terms of how he looks in the eyes of other people. Everyone can make mistakes, of course, but the thing is with Meslier, it's literally 2 in 1 week, and I'm being generous with that. And the thing was as well, up until that point, I was ready to praise the man for. And let me be real with you, basics that I see other keepers do week in, week out. But the thing is, because the bar is so low for Illan Meslier, that he has to get praise for doing things that other people just normally do. So there we are with that. Danny boy, he did that for a bit. Listen, we'll speak about that. And listen, Farke here himself was unable to explain Meslier's mistake. He says keeper is the saddest player in the dressing room, virtually in tears. Strauch says ball bounce weirdly in front of Meslier. And listen, Pascal Strauch has done what he should be doing as a vice captain, saying everyone stick together, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, when Farke says things like this, and I'll go on to another tweet that somebody else put as well, you can maybe get away with it if footballers kept kayfabe alive, but footballers don't. And when you know footballers and you know just how little they actually care, and I know people don't like to hear this, but I'm sorry, it's the truth. Then these kind of things don't wash with me. It won't fool me because I know players and I know how they talk. We as fans will talk about how big a game is and rival games and everything else like that. These players like in group chats going, you didn't do too well in this game, These players, it's just a job for them, which a lot of people still can't take on board, which is fine. But to say he's the saddest player in the dressing room, and then you got Jeff Stelling with this one, which is an absolute clown tweet, by the way. Would have been nice to see some Leeds players console Meslier a little more, notably Junior Firpo. A terrible, terrible mistake, but nobody feeling worse than the keeper. I can guarantee you, Jeff Stelling, there's people that feel worse than Millier, me being one of them, and probably everyone else in this chat that's got common sense will feel worse than Elan Millier. And one thing I want to say is that that's the problem with today. This isn't just a football thing; it's a society thing. No one wants accountability. No one wants it. And Eli Millier unfortunately comes from that time of our footballing of Leeds United where there's no accountability on players. There's none. So it's like one of these things. Oh, we got to protect him, bubble wrap him. People think that we're stuck in time as well. Like this is still 2020. He's 24 years old with over 100 Premier League games and more experience behind him. He's not a young man. He's very experienced when it comes to goalkeepers, but people still think he's just coming through the ranks and it's like 2020 again. No, he's 24 with bags of experience. He shouldn't be making clangers like that. But on the Junior Firpo side, Junior Firpo reacted the way that he should. And this is where people don't think of it. Listen, Junior Firpo in his next interview will come out and say, we're all behind Elan and this and that, blah, blah, blah. He's going to toe the company line, as he should, by the way, as he should. But what you don't see is these as the intangibles when you see them on the pitch. How can you trust your goalkeeper when he's putting up a clanger like that? And these are the things that they don't consider. Dude, how comfortable will the defense feel in front of Eli Millier games going forward? And these are it. Junior Firpo there. The thing is with that whole sequence last night towards the end of the game, we shouldn't be talking about it. It was a nothing thing. A ball was swung in. Alan Brown took a pot shot. He took a little deflection off Firpo, and it bounced in Meslier, and he should be holding on to it, covering it up, and we leave with a 2-1 win. It shouldn't even be a talking point. But the problem is with this goalkeeper, he creates talking points because he's so crap. And Junior Firpo is like, how can my goalkeeper not just give us a save? How many times have I come on here, people, and say, when the first shot goes in, yeah, we didn't score in that period, but you at least need your goalkeeper to make a save and say, all right, go again. But he just lets one in. He's got that mistake in him. But I've said this for years. If you're with me, you've always been on the side of right when you're with me. It's as simple as that. We may not be the biggest army, but we're on the side of right. And I've said it over and over again when it comes to goalkeeper. Now, funny enough, I said at the start, I don't want to speak about Miller, but it goes into what I'm saying in regards to the reaction after, in terms of talking about Junior Firpo, like Firpo's in wrong. Firpo reacted correctly. And listen, Firpo in the dressing room, whatever after may have said, don't worry about Elam, we've got you next time. You've got to do that. But at that time, you should be fuming. Every one of those players performed absolutely brilliant last night. That was the perfect away performance. And again, people want to go on Farke for this. That's not on Farke. I don't know what people are expecting. People saying we sat back and let Sunderland come onto us. We were 2-1 ahead at the Stadium of Light where they haven't been beaten, not even conceded this season. Of course, we were going to be under a little bit of pressure, but that's where you get your goalkeeper to take you out of pressure at that point and take the remaining 10 seconds, get you the win. That's what you do. That was not on Farke's day. The game plan was fine. The performance was brilliant last night. It was all down to one person. Again, with talking about expectations of a goalkeeper, people saying it had a bubble or this and that. Guys, watch football. Watch a lot of football. You'll see there'll be shots where goalkeepers take a bubble, but you know what they do? You know what? It's crazy. Check this out. They'll recover it. They'll recover it. It won't just go by them and go in. Some people actually get the bubble and react quickly and go on it and go, got a close one there. But because the expectations are so low with this goalkeeper, that if anything isn't just by him or straight at him, we shouldn't expect nothing. Don't expect him to catch it. Don't expect him to distribute it without going out of play. Don't expect him to save a penalty when it's right at his feet and he jumps over it. We can't expect nothing from him. So whenever he does something good, it gets highlighted to the nth degree. And I was almost guilty of that last night if that mistake hadn't happened, because I would have been singing his praises for how he managed the game up until that point. That's why I'm talking about. The bar is so low for this goalkeeper. It's unbelievable. And listen, let me just go back to Farkes' comment. Is the saddest player in the dressing room virtually in tears? See, things like that would wash if footballers could keep kayfabe alive. Listen, I know that this thing would have happened, say, in the tunnel. He would have got with his old manager, and his old manager would have said, don't worry about it, Elan. I know you're a top keeper. You're unfortunate, etc. But at this point, I'm not saying Eli Melier should be kicking and screaming or even pretending to cry. Don't care for all those theatrics, but at least just say to him, "Nah, not now, man. Not now. I've just cost my team who have performed so admirably in front of me 2 points today. Look, just I'll speak to you after the game." Bat him away. Say, "See you later." But instead, you get this. And usually, images aren't what you see, but this was what you saw last night. This guy was laughing and joking with his former manager, who he's just gifted a point. Crazy optics. But like I say, I know that this goes on, but just keep kayfabe alive. Go in the dressing room and do it. Absolutely insane. And let me say, if this was certain other players in this team that did this with opposition players, they would be absolutely crucified. But this guy, because people are still living in 2020 and think that this guy's still a young guy, they're just going to let him off. But no, I'm not. I'm not letting him off. Aaron's saying here, this is what you get when you back a bozo. I blame Farke for backing him. Melee should have been replaced 2 years ago. Yeah, it is annoying, Paul. Very annoying. Yeah, Ryan saying that pick is infuriating. Be mindful of the cameras. This is the thing, Ryan. These players these days are very mindful of the cameras, very mindful. I could go into examples like the last game of the season against Tottenham, where basically during the game, every player is hiding because they knew they weren't good enough. They weren't trying to get the ball. But when it comes to the end and we're confirmed as relegated, they're all ready for those pictures to be taken at the end with their hands in their heads like this. Tears. They all know, people. They all know where the cameras are. So he should have been hyper aware, especially after an error like that, to not do this. But he just compounded it. So that's why when Farke's saying he's the most devastated player, Jeff Stellings saying there should be more support, it kind of goes in your face of saying, no, because look here, look right here. He doesn't look that devastated, does he? And he won't be. Sorry to tell you, he won't be. He'll be chilling today. Cool. Sorry. Dave saying, hi, KG. Apart from that calamity, we played good. Both Tanaka and Nanto put in a great shift. Dave, you love hard workers, don't you, man? You never talk about quality, but shout out to you, Dave. Every time this keeper of ours has something to do, I worry. I'm with you, though, in that part, Dave, all the time. He doesn't instill any confidence in me. That's why I would say keep the ball away from him. He's an absolute joke. Now, listen, this is quite funny because this is still not the detail I want to go into when we talk about Melier on Monday, but this is all to do with the game yesterday. Let me see here. Reese here saying, on a human level, you feel for him, but it's on the club for not replacing him and putting him in that position, similar to the Bamford situation. No, I don't feel for him, Reese. You know, this is the problem with today, the society today. Everyone needs coddling. Everyone needs support. They can accept the praise when it's lavished on them, but when there's criticism, no, you can't do that. No, I don't feel bad for him. I feel bad for me. I feel bad for the Leeds fans in this chat. I feel bad for the players that put in everything on the pitch last night. I don't feel bad for him. How many times is he going to do this? How many times are we going to feel bad for this guy? Absolutely not. No chance, Reese. But I appreciate your sentiment. But society is just getting too soft with these guys. Too soft. Handle them with kid gloves all the time. No, they love it when you give them the praise. But one time criticism comes, and I'll give you an example. Football I used to speak to. I'm not going to give names. I was bigging him up, telling him, saying how well he'd play. I said on one time that he didn't play well. Guess who didn't speak to me again? That player. Soft people. But that's society in general now, not just footballers. Chris here saying he's a grown man and made a mistake. He deserves to feel embarrassment. He should be embarrassed. Yeah, should do. Yeah. Mike saying here with you all the way, KG, when he does something that a bang, I don't know what that means, but I hear you. But listen, you know what I mean? In terms of the performances, I do want to go on to that before we speak about the possible incoming that we could be getting, because there's more to talk about with Melier, and we're going to do that on Monday show, I promise people. But in terms of the first goal, and this is where I will defend Melier. See, people don't say I'm not fair. Melier was the only one on the first goal that Chris Riggs scored that was switched on. It's crazy to say, but he was. The whole sequence of that goal that Chris Riggs scored, we were 2 steps behind and way too slow. It's like the ball was moving around us. And good move by Sunderland, by the way. It was a really good goal. But from a defensive point of view, we stood around like statues. It was like everyone was like, oh, there's the ball. Oh, there's the ball. Melier makes the save. It was a good save as well. and not one of our centre backs was switched on to the rebound. Not one of them. They were all looking behind them like, who's going to get it? That was real poor defending for Sunderland's first goal. But after that, the performance was really, really good. Like the Norwich game where we picked it up and didn't put our heads down. We went and played our way, played our ball. It was a brilliant response by the club, by the team in general. Rothwell in particular loved this game yesterday. If we get more of that from Rothwell, absolutely brilliant, because that was a real good midfield performance. Not great, because we still need to see a bit more, but that was a real good start. And if he can give us that every week, we will beat a majority of teams. In terms of Joel Peru's goal, the crossing, we need more of that. That's something I've been calling for. More balls into the box, because that's how you get things done. It can't always be intricate passing through the middle. Sometimes you have to swing that ball in the box, see if you can get bodies in there. And Joel Peru rising to get that header. Lovely, cultured header. That's what he is. He's a cultured finisher, whether it's with his left foot, whether it's with his head. That's what you're going to get from Joel Peru if you give him the opportunities. So love to see that from Joel. The Junior Firpo goal was was beautiful. And unfortunately last night I didn't get to because of this, still deflated. Yeah, but I didn't get to speak about it too much because of just where my head was yesterday. So apologies. But Junior Firpo's goal was absolutely brilliant, absolutely wonderful. And Ramazani, for me, who probably had his worst game yesterday, was still influential in the build-up. Drew about 3 players to him in order to get Firpo back on the run. Nonto, yet again, who put it back into Firpo's stride, who finished it wonderfully. Beautiful goal, worthy of winning a game. But instead, we see Junior Firpo, though. How devastating as well. How criminal is it to see Junior Firpo credited with that own goal? Absolutely criminal. It's almost like that Olaf Melberg and Enkelman goal. Remember that one for Birmingham versus Villa? Insane stuff. Insane. Ina here saying Rothwell was great last night, but he was caught ball watching for their first goal. Was right there, but didn't move. Otherwise, Rothwell was great. Yeah, listen, Ina, he wasn't just the only one though. That's the problem. Everyone was, even Bogle, even our centre backs. It was like Sunderland were just moving the ball, and everyone was like 2 thoughts and 2 steps behind. It was really poor defending. Like I say, the only person that was actually switched on was Melia, who actually did make a good save in that one, and then the follow up wasn't cleared away, which is unfortunate. In terms of that, yeah. So yeah, I mean, real good performance, just solid away, and that's why. See, I'm not unfair. When Farke gets things right, I will say so, and he did get it right last night. That was, you can't expect to go away, especially to Sunderland. Even as good as we are, there's still something called game management, and we was doing that. We were slowing it down. We was winning free kicks via Nanto, who, by the way, people, is just, he's been absolutely brilliant, taking the mantle. This is courtesy of UFC data. Nanto became the first Leeds player to register 4 consecutive league goals or assists, register assists for 4 consecutive league goals since Jack Harrison between October and November 2019. He's just taken the mantle of being the man, and he's running with it. And I knew he would. I absolutely love that Willie Nanto has taken that. He said, yep, Somerville gone, Jorginho gone, I got this. Don't worry about it. Love to see it. Much like Somerville last year, obviously when, other players had left, he took the mantle of that. We're getting that from Willie Nanto, and he's been brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I do like how he's not just sticking in the 10. He's being a problem in the 10, but then he's moving out to the right. He's moving out to the left. He's been an absolute menace for championship defenses. So big plus for Willie Nanto. Absolutely brilliant. So Maz, and so that is it on the game yesterday. Love to see it, but Maz, we are going to move on to the final portion of the video, which is obviously the thumbnail. Maz here saying they ought to sign a decent free agent to divert the attention away from all of this. It's going to be tough, Maz. Listen, my phone was buzzing last night, and you have to understand this hasn't happened for me since we lost 4-0 to QPR, when everyone all of a sudden, I hadn't heard from these people in a long time. All of a sudden I got messages. It's crazy how it works in football, man. But yeah, in terms of Maz, what he's saying here, what I want to highlight is that Daniel Farke, who has said before that he doesn't like signing free agents, especially around this time, he may have opened the door, people. And this is what he said. He's not an advocate of free agent signings October, but he reiterates the professional duty to recognize there may be an opportunity in special circumstances. Well, I do think that this is a special circumstance. So I hope that Leeds are doing something. Now let me make this clear. I don't think it's make or break, But I think even yesterday's game, you saw that with Joby Bellingham when he was getting opportunities on the edge of the box. Could have been worse for us if he was on target and a little bit more unsung, because that was the thing that was missing. As good as Tanaka and, well, more so Rothwell was playing yesterday, that missing defensive midfielder that is so crucial to Danny Farke's system, you could see it was missing. And we may get games in the future where that may come up again, where a number 10 or a hybrid 8 gets in that space and no one's covering him and they may score. That couldn't happen. But we got let off yesterday in terms of that. But you could see that even as well as we played, there will be games where we'll need one. Now, I've got Kristoffer Kramer as the cover just purely because with Daniel Farke not wanting a player at this point of the season who's free, he's got a very good relationship with Kristoffer Kramer. Managed him at Borussia. He knows him very well. He knows his game. So he already knows his personality and knows what he's like in the changing room. So he's got nothing to worry about in that. Listen, I'm not saying go for Kristoffer Kramer, by the way. I'm just saying, along these lines. But I'm just saying, in terms of Danny Farke, we know he likes familiarity in his players, as we've seen with Sam Byram and other players that he's been linked with before. And Kristoffer Kramer, I'll be real with you. I haven't seen this guy play since he was at Leverkusen, and I can't believe how long ago that was now. When I was watching Bundesliga football, I used to see this guy playing for Leverkusen, and that was like maybe 8 years ago now. It's crazy, but 33 years old. But what he's got to do is for me to make it perfect. And the reason why I've done it today is if you're going to bring in a free agent of this kind of caliber, because we will need to sign him for the end of the season. These kind of players won't take 3-month deals. They've got to work within the wage structure, of course, which is why Kramer's probably more affordable. I've seen us linked with Coughlin, which would be a good one as well. Kike, who's still got Premier League interest, I believe, as well. So that may not be possible. But again, he would be a nice option. But going with Kramer just because Farke knows him, what you want to do is during this 2-week international break, is if you can get them to come on trial, just to come on trial and see how fit they are. Even if you can see that they're going to be good after a week, then sign them to a short-term contract. I think this is the perfect time. And listen, even Farke said that the international break has come at a perfect time in order to get injured players back. Because you saw the bench last night, people. There was no game change. Apart from Joseph, we had none. So when we get Solomon back, when we get Dan James back, we're going to look way healthier. But in terms of doing that, the perfect opportunity to get that free agent signing is this weekend. Get them in this weekend, Monday latest, so they can have 2 weeks of training, get up to speed, get up to the tactical speed as well of what Danny Farke likes. Because with Kristoffer Kramer, people talk about his age. Kristoffer Kramer was never quick, but you know what? Neither is Ilya Gruev. Gruev is not the quickest player either. He's going to be playing defensive midfield. That's his position. Kristoffer Kramer isn't one of those adventurous six. He's not at all. This guy is interceptions. He's about winning the ball back, ball recoveries. That is his game. That was his game anyway when I saw him play for Leverkusen. So in that case, I think that this could be possibly one of the easiest positions to cover for. And if people and then there's the con people will probably say about Charlie Crew is game time. What I would say to that is Charlie Crew is a good prospect and he should be getting game time at some point this season just to blood him in. But it would let me try and explain this. It would be unexpected game time for him to get the amount that he'd be looking to get now. So he's not in the Archie Gray scenario. He's not Archie Gray. It's not Alan Smith. It's not Lebo. It's not Harry Kuehl. It's Charlie Crew. So you have to still be careful with this guy, this kid, essentially. And bringing in a Kristoffer Kramer or someone like that would just be giving Charlie Crew the expected minutes that he would have got if both Gruev and Ampadu were playing. So it wouldn't be, for me, a development stunt for Charlie Crew. It would be more of a, look, you've got Kristoffer Kramer here, learn something from him while he's here on a short-term deal. And ultimately, as well, as ruthless as it is, and this is how it is in football, it's about Leeds United. It's not about Charlie Crew. It's about the betterment of this football team in order to get back where we should be, and that's the Premier League. And in order to do that, you will need another experienced head in there. You know what I mean? Yeah, Mike here saying Plymouth Argyle have just made a potentially good free agent signing. It can be done. Of course it can be done. So Victor Moses, he's gone to Luton, hasn't he, on a free? You can get free agents, especially at this point in the season, because for whatever reason, they're not signed. It could be that the offers that they've had before aren't the right fit. And listen, again, with Kristoffer Kramer, he may be settled in Germany, may not want to come, but maybe you're banking on the personal relationship he has with Danny Farke in order to help facilitate the move, because he will get football here. Because I've already said if we get Gruev back this season, it will be a miracle. I do not expect to see Gruev back this season. I don't. I think we've definitely got more of a chance with Ampadu. Gruev, not so much. Not so much. Navas, people talk about Navas. In Navas, you see, and this is the thing. I don't want to speak about Navas, but yeah, Navas in terms of a goalkeeper, maybe we'll speak about this Monday. I promise you, people, we're going to go in depth on the goalkeeper Monday. Even though some people say I went in depth on him today, but I didn't. Trust me, I didn't. Yeah, Keith here. We are that good. We should be 2 up after 70 minutes to be able to give Charlie 20 minutes a game, or not even a game, but every other game. And that's how I see his role. And that's how I said it at the start of the season. I didn't think Charlie Crew, I thought he would be an option to play, which is fine, but it can't be in the circumstances we're in now. It's too much. It's absolutely too much for Charlie Crew to just come in and get regular game time. And Ruffle and Tanaka, as good as they can be, they cannot play every single game from here on out. So a central midfield reinforcement is needed. Obviously, it's got to be within the wage budget for the remainder of the season. But I think we may do something. The fact Daniel Farke has opened the door for that is a promising sign, and maybe there is already talks going on with free agents around the place in order to come in during this international break. Carlos here, Kike, a good option, KG. Yeah, I mean, Kike was someone I said in the summer, bags of experience, real good player, two-ended player. Essentially, as well, by the way, he plays both midfield and defense, which obviously we know that we're going to need as well. So he's a two for 1. So yeah, I mean, but all of this, Carlos and everyone else, is just about how fit they are, which is why this international break is so crucial to see what they're playing with and go, okay, we can do something with you. Let's sign you up for the remainder of the season. You know what I mean? Let's have a look here. Yeah, let me just have I missed something here? Yeah, no, I haven't. So yeah, people. So we'll keep an eye on that for the weekend in terms of a free agent signing. Everyone's talking about keepers. We'll talk about keepers Monday. But yeah, it's a promising thing that Farke's open up to it, and purely on the basis that we know Farke can be stubborn. So when he says something, it's like, okay, we're not going to get that change, or at least not get it until he's proven wrong. But the fact he's come back a couple of days later and said, yeah, we might need to get somebody, is a promising sign. So it's up to Farke. It's on the 49ers. We'll see what they do in the break. So I'm hoping that we get some movement. I don't plan on doing a stream tomorrow. I'm hoping to get Sunday off. I'm planning to come back Monday. Hopefully we've got another, signing in the building, or at least a trialist, so we can see who Leeds United are going to get. Mike here saying a Friday defeat is the worst. It ruins the whole weekend. Oh, I know it was not a defeat, but it feels like, yeah. And even Farke said that. And for the people that think that fans like myself, Mike, and everyone else are exaggerating, Farke literally said it himself last night. He says it's a point, but it feels like a defeat. And that's why I've said as well, it's not a point gained. It's absolutely not a point gained. It's 2 points dropped. What you think is going to happen before the game is irrelevant. The game is being played. Okay, that changes everything. If you thought we were going to lose against Sunderland, which a couple of you did, that's fine. But when you're in the game and you're 2-1 up at that point, that's 3 points, 3 great points as well. Statement win. Sunderland unbeaten at home, not concede a goal, and we've gone there and won, and well, by the way. And then to have that happen, it is 2 points dropped, because that's the difference at the end of the season, people. You don't lose leagues now. You don't win leagues now, but you can lose them. That's the difference. And that's where Ipswich, when they were coming up last year with last minute goals to win games or get equalizers, we just constantly drop them. That's what we do. As someone said in the comments yesterday, and as I was reminded so well, it was very Leedsy. It was, unfortunately. But listen, people, do not let it ruin your weekend. Let me just say that. Enjoy your weekend, people. Don't let that spoil it. Do things with your family, friends. Even if you haven't got those, watch movies, listen to music, do whatever it is that you enjoy doing. Do not let it get you down for the weekend. All right. Okay. But listen, people, that is the show today. Give me your thoughts on anything discussed today. I mean, Melier took up about 10 minutes of it yet again. Thoughts on the game yesterday, anything discussed, Kristoffer Kramer, any other free agents you can think of. We'll come back Monday with a new stream talking about the goalkeeper position in depth. Like the video before you go, drop your comments, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, people. Enjoy your weekend.